It was a dreary September day. I'd had a very busy day at work and an important story to finish, so I'd stayed in the newsroom longer than usual. It was already 8:30 p.m. and I was walking home. Psychically, I was not very well. My father had died suddenly 2 months before. Heart attack. He was heartsick, but he hadn't given up smoking. Sometimes in the evenings I thought I could hear him coughing. But it was all in my imagination. It began to rain lightly. It was a cold fall rain with small drops that penetrated through my jacket and into my skin. The sky was a blanket of dull, thick grey clouds, heavy with unrelenting rain that seemed to seep into everything. The once vibrant colors of early autumn, golden leaves, red berries, were muted under the constant drizzle. Puddles formed quickly in every crack, reflecting the overcast sky, their surfaces rippled by the raindrops that fell without pause. The air was cool and damp, clinging to your skin with a faint smell of wet earth and decaying leaves. The streets were slick and empty, the sound of footsteps swallowed by the steady patter of rain. Some people rushed by, hunched under umbrellas or wrapped tightly in coats, eyes downcast to avoid the splashes from passing cars. The wind sent cold sprays of water sideways, soaking everything further. There was a heaviness in the air, a sense that the night will drag on like this, slow and dreary, with no hope of the sun breaking through tomorrow morning. I had no umbrella with me. It was already getting dark outside. When I reached the corner of the block where I lived, I heard a cat meowing. I looked around and didn't see anything, but the meowing didn't stop, so I headed in the direction where the sound was coming from. When I got to the back of the block, I saw a cat that looked strikingly like my own, a little further away near a bush. It was grey, striped, slim. Of course it was Sasha, my old cat that I had rescued when he was the size of a palm. But how did he manage to escape? I knew he hadn't been feeling well for days, vomiting occasionally, very weak. The vet had given him some vitamins, but he didn't seem to be getting any better. He was a 17-year-old cat. Anyway, Sasha was meowing loudly. When I wanted to move closer to catch him, he ran further away towards a parking lot in a less well-lit area between the blocks. It was an area where I wouldn't go after dark, or under no circumstances would I go alone. But what was I supposed to do? I had to catch the cat that had escaped from an apartment block by a method known only to him. So I ran into the parking lot. Sasha seemed to have escaped into an obscure area of the parking lot. Arriving there, I noticed a gang of 4 boys attempting to vandalize a red car. But wait a minute, it was my own car, the old red Ford Fiesta that had been parked there for weeks. Since I lived close to the newsroom, I didn't have to drive to work. And anyway, I lived in a city where parking lots weren't exactly easy to find. In any case, the 4 teenage boys had put up the windshield wipers and were now scrambling to move the mirrors. One of them pulled a graffiti spray out of his bag and was about to write something on my car when my mouth caught me on the front and I shouted shrilly, "Hey, what are you doing there?" "That's my car!" The 4 men stared at me in astonishment for 2 seconds and stopped their stupid game. Then they burst out laughing, coming towards me. I froze. I was shaking inside with fear, but on the outside I was trying to look strong. When they got closer, I got a better look. They looked much older than they probably were, very thin, their faces yellowed from smoking, from drugs. I think they were gypsies, but I'm not sure. In any case, it was very clear that they were homeless, scatterbrained, and probably under the influence of drugs or at least alcohol, which they drank because it was cheap and quickly put them into a euphoric state. They surrounded me and started laughing hysterically. "This stupid bitch has some nerve," one of them said. I could already see myself being robbed, raped, or at least well shoved and my cell phone and earrings stolen when a hoarse male voice came out of the darkness. "Leave her alone." Then the hoarse voice coughed as a chain smoker does. All 5 of us looked in the direction of the voice and saw the silhouette of a man in jeans, hat, long hair. I didn't get a look at his face. The hat obscured it, not letting his face show. I fainted. Time seemed to stand still. The silhouette stood still. Looking closer, I noticed that his feet were not touching the ground. That must have been the moment when the other 4 noticed that the man or figure's feet were not touching the ground. They ran off. I just stood there. I was terrified. When I get scared, I freeze. I can't move. My heart was pounding to jump out of my chest. The silhouette passed me with the speed of the wind, passing over some bushes and getting lost in the darkness. When he was beneath me, he gave me one look. His eyes were hollow, dark shadows that seemed to pull in all light, and its expression was a mixture of sorrow and timeless patience, as if it had been waiting for ages. It was clearly a ghost. Only when it was gone did I catch my breath and run home. The car was safe. I was safe. I quickly went upstairs, unlocked the door, and that was when I saw him. Sasha, the cat, was lying in the middle of the hallway. Unfortunately, he was dead.